Good morning, guys. Welcome to the channel. We are here at the main farm in the shed, obviously where all the headers are. And this header, which is header number 2, we've been trying to get it all back together with the rotors and all that. Everything like that's been going well. But we have noticed there's a bit of movement in the shaker chute. Brad's just exiting the insides of the header again. Yeah, so what is happening here is there's a bit of carnage with all the mud and different things, and we've had to patch weld up a bit of the stuff here around the fan shroud and on the other side as well. And then we're going to just gusset a few bits and pieces a bit like that, or you can see it here. Just to strengthen that all up. So we think that the self-leveling shoe, which is all the bits inside here, so all your sieves, the grain pan and everything, it tilts like that. So when you're on a hill and you're on a bit of an angle, the sieves are always level. Otherwise you'd have all the grain and material go to one side of the sieves, and it would load those sieves up too much, and the grain wouldn't fall down and it wouldn't work very well. So there's a pivot at the front which we think's been a bit flogged out. So basically we've got to pull the grain pan out to be able to get to that pivot and put a new bush and pin in there, and hopefully that'll solve a few of the different issues we were having. We were trying to find out why there was a bit of a shudder on this machine, and we're hoping that that's the reason. So yeah, we've got a little bit more work to do on it, but yeah, with the rain forecast I think we're going to have plenty of time to do it, so that is the positive. This is the actuator here which controls the shoe, and yeah, so you can see here, if I stand on that, it moves, so it moves quite a ways too. So anyway, we'll see how far we can get. So here we catch Brad in another compromising position. You just love it, don't you?
Got to lead by example.
I'm not complaining.
Oh, I'm just going to make some noise.
Yeah.
Got to get that pin out. Yeah.
Righto, so the other thing going on while that header's getting worked on, I think we're actually just punching out the bushes for that pivot, and then yeah, they're actually going to come tomorrow, so yeah, we won't be able to do much more on that today. But this one here, Josiah's in the thick of it. He's someone pinned him down and shaved him. So he's looking a bit more under control. But we did get the sieves for this header. So this is header number 1. We've been waiting on these sieves for quite a while now, but they rocked up, and we've just got to swap over some brackets. So these are the brackets that, yeah, that's how it all adjusts. There's little actuators which attached to the brackets, which that's how from the cab you can change the aggressiveness of the sieves. Well, I thought while I am back here up the guts of the header, I might explain for a lot of people that probably don't understand. I mean, it can be as complicated as you want to explain it, but I thought I might explain why there is all these different sieves in here and how they work with each other, and that will hopefully be interesting to some. But you can see up the front there, that's just the grain pan. So everything that comes down from the rotors, because the rotors are spinning and a lot of grain is coming out of them, and bits and pieces and chaff and all that as well. But it hits the grain pan. Now this whole thing here is moving forward and backwards pretty quickly. So all the grain and stuff that falls out of the rotors works its way this way, and it lands on this sieve here. Now that is the pre-sieve. So anything that goes through the pre-sieve goes straight down and then into the auger, up into the bin. I am back here to correct something I just said. The pre-sieve doesn't actually bypass and put the grain straight into the bin. It actually just bypasses the top sieve, so it puts it straight onto the bottom sieve. So that way the bulk of it isn't being loaded, overloaded in the top sieve. So that is a slight correction. But once anything that comes past this pre-sieve lands on your top sieve, which we don't actually have them here, but it sits on top here. Now anything that goes through your top sieve, and this is where your settings come into play, anything that goes through your top sieve but doesn't go through the bottom sieve, which is this one here, ends up going back down the front there and into a separate little auger, and then it comes back up and it is your repeat. So you can see there's little thing, one on each side, there and there, and it comes back around and goes over the sieves again. So that, a lot of the time it's stuff that hasn't been thrashed properly, or it just hasn't really separated, the grain hasn't separated from the stalk really, because in those augers that go up the sides there's actually a little, it's like a miniature thrasher, so it gives it another belting, and then hopefully they're separated, and then it comes over again. So you don't want too much repeats, because it means it's just going cycling through and around and around and around and clogging up the system, but you always will have some, and you always want some. It means that it's all working smoothly. So that's what that is. Now anything that comes through the top sieve and the bottom sieve goes down into your clean grain, and then up the elevator into the bin. So that's why it can be pretty tricky to set the headers up, and one little difference in whether it's your pre-sieve or any of these sieves, one little change can mean you can have a bad sample. So that means there's a lot of rubbish in your grain, or you're throwing a lot out the back. So you don't want to close it up too much, because then you obviously, a lot of grain is getting caught on the straw and the chaff, and it can't work its way down through the sieve. So anyway, that's a hopefully not too complicated explanation, but that's basically how you get from a crop that's all just everything mashed together and belted together through the rotors. That's how you get it from all of that to grain down the bottom. Now also, while we're here, anything that comes all the way through from the rotors, so you can see the two rotors there and the concaves, so anything that and a lot of the time it's your thicker straw and your stalks and things, they work their way all the way up to, you can see the rotors there and there, they come out here and then they go into the beater here. So then this is spinning around really quickly, and everything gets flung out here and down through to your chopper. So it's only the stalks and the big stuff that goes to the chopper. All your chaff and that comes out from your sieves here goes down to what Josiah's sitting on, the spreaders. So and then that gets spread out behind the header. So anyway, it's a bit long-winded, but hopefully a fairly thorough, detailed explanation.
Righto, well it's all back together, and we're just going, well actually I got distracted, so I can't say we. Brad and Josiah have just finished putting it back together, and it's looking like everything, there's no bad noises. So thing is, after you've been working on it, you just want to keep your distance a little bit in case there's a tool or something that comes flying out the back. But it's been running for a bit now, and that's looking pretty good. So you can see the shoe moving up and down. Obviously when you rev the engine up, that moves a lot quicker, but we just got it ticking over, making sure everything's looking good. What we find, Brad? Any bad noises? No bad noises yet. case something goes flying through. This guy's having fun. Oh, that's good. Well guys, it's about lunchtime and it's raining. We'll quickly give you just an update what we're up to. Basically today we were fiddling around with the header front. Now it's actually the header front for header number 2, but it's on header number 1 at the minute, just so we can move it around and do all that. So we did have it here working on it, but just because it started to rain fairly steadily, we took it over to the main shed over here just to keep it out of the rain. So they're talking, it could be another 15-20 mils of rain. So yeah, we had about 40 mil of rain there a week ago, and actually the forecast is sort of indicating that it's going to be another pretty substantial possibility of some more rain in another week's time. So yeah, we're pretty wet here, but what I'll do is we'll duck around the corner here and I'll give you a bit of an update. So with the header front, we ended up putting a new draper belt on this side. Now, haven't got that all tidied off fully yet because I need to get here. There's the end roller that goes in here, and I've got to replace a bearing on that. So but that's all sort of half ready to go. We did a bit of just fiddling around, straightening things up and just giving it a bit of love. I had to put a little joining patch in on this belt. It had a little tear in it, so all you do is you cut a bit out of an old belt or even a new belt, and yeah, you just have to put an extra joining link in, and that side should be pretty good, I think. But there is a bit more we found we had to do. We pulled the center draper belt off, and I'm not sure whether the camera will show, but there is a bend. Oh yeah, I think you can see it pretty well. There is a bend there, so a rock's obviously come up and hit that. And what that has meant is, because the draper belt's always running over the top of that, there's a little wear hole in there. And similar things happened over to this side. It's all bent and twisted, and yeah, so that just is going to need a fair bit of attention there. Yeah, at least it's good we're starting to work on the header fronts, because that means we're getting a fair way ahead with the yeah, getting the harvest stuff ready. So nothing too major. We are just having, because we pulled the gearbox out of header number 1 here, and we put the diff lock and all that in there, we're just not sure if there's some solenoid issues, but we can't select a couple of gears. Very much hoping that that's not inside the gearbox, but it shouldn't be. It's more than likely just solenoid issue or an actuator issue. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well folks, Matt says I've got to lift my game as my introduction, so hi there everybody in the afternoon, Friday afternoon. It's Peter here on behalf of the Matt channel. We'll just do a quick roundup. We've had 30 round about between 20 something and 30 millimetres in the 2 blocks. Well, the development block has had over 30, but 60 for the week. Those close to us have had 60 mil overnight, which is a lot of water. So we're back to shed jobs. Now, Josiah is here. I hear him welding away. What are you up to, mate?
Looking for spanners at the moment.
Looking for spanners, but the welder was going. So what were you doing? A bit of hard facing here?
Putting hard facing back on the tines that
On,
we replaced.
on the planter? Righto.
So we had to re-weld the bottoms where your points sit.
Yep,
So
the sockets, yep.
the points sit in like that. So we
Yeah.
had to re-weld them back on, well, cut them out, the bits that were broken off, and then hard face around the socket again.
Very good. Good on you, mate. Well done. We'll see if we can find Bradley. Where are you, Bradley? There you go, mate. Yeah. Oh, are we in need of an emotional breakdown here?
Oh no, Friday, so
Friday, so we've got a day off tomorrow.
it's going to be knock off time.
Do a bit of bike jumping. Oh, it's a bit too wet, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, it's from what I hear, it sounds like we're having selection. The gearbox that we repaired is not selecting all the gears. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
And we're just going to chase it up and see what it turns out to be. Maybe it's got to come out again and just...
Yeah, I'm hoping, yeah, we just don't know whether we bumped the motor, the electronic motor, so we just want to confirm it's not that. But if it's a selector, yeah, it'll have to come out, I think. It'll be easier.
Yep. Oh, look, folks, look out. You might actually find Matt working. Hello, Matt.
Howdy.
What's happening?
We're just trying to work out, or trying to straighten a few of these bits and pieces up under
Trying
the
to
centre
debate.
draper belt.
Trying to debate what time we should knock off on Friday, are they?
Oh, right. Well, do you want me to help you with that, or...?
We're thinking 3 o'clock sounds good. 10 minutes away.
So Phil, have you found a way to get Matt working?
Yeah, well, you just got to take his phone and GoPro off.
Oh, right.
And then he's fine.
So does that mean if I put this GoPro down, you might get a bit out of me?
Yeah, yep.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, it could work.
I doubt it.
Maybe.
You always find something else to do.
Oh, I think we need to take your keys from your youth.
Oh,
Go
righto.
to town and get coffees.
Oh, well,
and
but coffee keeps you happy when you get it occasionally. So we've got a worn-out frame where the centre belt goes in, have we? By the look of that.
Yeah, it looks like it's been banged up from underneath here, and we've obviously cut this to make it fit, but the mat's been wearing hard on that, so it's wearing some holes in it.
Yeah, right.
So we've just got to try and get it all straight, and
Is this the one that Brad drives?
yeah.
Oh, right.
Well, this is the front.
So this is the rock header. This is the
Yeah.
header that
Yeah.
pulverises
Rock
rocks.
This is the rock crusher. this
Righto.
one.
Right. And so it's got a little bit of wear here. So you're going to put.
So we've bent it down, and we're still going to do a bit of work, but we're just trying to get the guts of it straight. Well, a few have knocked off a little bit early for a Friday afternoon, but I think we're getting pretty well to the end. I don't know why, but I seem to be saying it a lot, but it's looking like we're at the back end of the work that needs to be done, at least anyway. So header number 2, all the that shaker shoe pivot there has all been put back together, and it's it's all good. There's just been a bit of other stuff going on with guards and things. Little bit of stuff's been repaired. We've just got the bones of this all fixed up. We're getting some stainless steel folded up to go along the top of that, so it'll go just up and across and down, and that'll help that from wearing out. So I think once that's done, we can put that draper belt on, then that roller, then this front is pretty well, should be close to ready to go. I think everything will just get a final check. Alright guys, that'll probably be it for the video. Just remember to hit the like button if you enjoy the videos, and to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one.